The diagnosis, Merlin's sickness. Dr. Michael Peyne adjusted his spectacles. He stared at the medical report, the words blurring. Merlin's sickness, a rare, cruel twist of fate. Instead of aging, I would grow younger. Day by day, year by year, I would rewind through life's tape until nothingness. I ran a hand through my thinning hair. My reflection in the window seemed to mock me. A cruel parody of Dorian Gray. My body, a ticking time bomb. How much time did I have? Months? Weeks? The irony wasn't lost on me. A lifetime dedicated to unraveling the mysteries of the human body, and now my own body was the greatest mystery I'd ever encountered. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through me. I was a scientist. I dealt in logic, in facts. But this defied explanation. This was magic, plain and simple. And I was trapped in its cruel embrace.
Dr. Peyne sat at his desk, a worn leather-bound journal open before him. His apocalyptic log, he'd titled it with a humorless chuckle. He dipped his pen into the inkwell, the familiar scratching sound strangely comforting in the silence of his study. I wrote about my condition, my thoughts, my fears. Each day the writing grew shakier, the letters larger, more childish, a physical manifestation of my regression. It was unnerving, watching my own hand betray me, my thoughts becoming simpler, my vocabulary shrinking. I wrote about the memories that surfaced unbidden from the depths of my mind. Long-forgotten childhood summers, the sting of my first love, the bitter taste of regret. My past was bubbling up, swallowing me whole. Each word I wrote was a small victory against the encroaching darkness, a testament to the life I'd lived, the experiences that shaped me. Even as my body betrayed me, my mind, for now, remained my own.
Days bled into weeks, weeks into months. Dr. Peyne watched in horrified fascination as his reflection in the mirror transformed. Wrinkles faded. My hair thickened, regaining its youthful color. I shrank, my clothes hanging loosely on my now youthful frame. I was a young man again, full of the vitality and energy I'd thought long gone, but the fear remained, a constant shadow lurking behind my rejuvenated eyes. I knew this youthful facade was fleeting. My world shrunk to the confines of my home, my study, my sanctuary. I relied on Ruby, my kind-hearted caretaker, for everything. I was embarrassed, ashamed of my condition, of the burden I'd become. Then came the day when I woke up as a child. My world, once filled with books and research, was now a blur of colors and sounds. I couldn't read, couldn't write, couldn't even form coherent sentences. I was a prisoner in my own regressing body.
Ruby. Her name was a soothing balm to his troubled mind. He may not have understood much these days, but he understood kindness. He understood love. And Ruby, with her gentle touch and soft voice, was his anchor in the storm.
She would read to him, her voice a comforting melody. She would tell him stories of his past, of a life he could no longer recall.
Sometimes he would cry, overwhelmed by a wave of emotions he couldn't comprehend. Ruby would just hold him, her presence a silent reassurance.
Today she held him close, her eyes filled with a sorrow that mirrored his own. He was a baby now, cradled in her arms. He gurgled, reaching out with chubby fingers to touch her face. "It's okay, Michael, it's okay to let go."
Her words, though he didn't understand them, seemed to calm the storm within him. He felt a strange sense of peace settle over him. The world was a kaleidoscope of light and color. He felt a strange lightness, as if he were floating. He looked up at Ruby, her face a blur of love and sadness. He wanted to reach for her, to comfort her, but he couldn't. He was fading, dissolving, becoming one with the light that surrounded him. He didn't fight it. He was tired. So tired. He closed his eyes, surrendering to the inevitable. The last thing he felt was a gentle warmth, a sense of peace he had never known. Then, nothing. Just a blissful, eternal silence. Dr. Michael Peyne, the man who had cheated time, had finally succumbed to its relentless embrace. He was gone, faded to white, a blank slate, the ultimate mystery.